Hello, my dear friends. The word blockade is the most used terms in Bangladesh nowadays. Students of various institutions are now protesting against the existing quota system, naming their protest Bangla blockade. With the term blockade widely circulating, today I am diving deep into the meaning and history of the word. My dear friend, join me as I unveil the secrets of the word blockade, exploring how it has been used throughout the history to control, starve, and compel nations into submission, from the intense close blockades of warships at sea to strategic distant blockades intercepting supplies far from the coast, and even peaceful blockades that have changed history without a cannonball. Stay tuned to explore these fascinating tactics and their real world impacts.
The word blockade used as noun, an act or means of sealing off a place to prevent goods or people from entering or leaving. Example, they voted to lift the blockade of major railway junctions. Used as verb, seal off a place to prevent goods or people from entering or leaving. Example, the authorities blockaded roads in and out of the capital. A blockade is the act of actively preventing a country or region from receiving or sending out food, supplies, weapons, or communications, and sometimes people, by military force. A blockade differs from an embargo or sanction, which are legal barriers to trade rather than physical barriers. It is also distinct from a siege in that a blockade is usually directed at an entire country or region rather than a fortress or city, and the objective may not always be to conquer the area. Types of blockade: close, distant, loose, and specific blockades. A close blockade entails placing warships within sight of the blockaded coast or port to ensure the immediate interception of any ship entering or leaving. It is both the most effective and the most difficult form of blockade to implement. Difficulties arise because the blockading ships must remain continuously at sea, exposed to storms and hardship, usually far from any support, and vulnerable to sudden attack from the blockaded side, whose ships may stay safe in harbor until they choose to come out. In a distant blockade, the blockaders stay well away from the blockaded coast and try to intercept any ships going in or out. This may require more ships on station, but they can usually operate closer to their bases and are at much less risk from enemy raids. This was almost impossible prior to the 16th century due to the nature of the SHPs used. A loose blockade is a close blockade where the blockading ships are withdrawn out of sight from the coast, behind the horizon, but no farther. The object of loose blockade is to lure the enemy into venturing out, but to stay close enough to strike. British Admiral Horatio Nelson applied a loose blockade at Cadiz in 1805. The Franco-Spanish fleet under Pierre-Charles Villeneuve then came out, resulting in the Battle of Trafalgar, Pacific blockade. Until 1827, blockades as part of economic warfare were always a part of a war. This changed when France, Russia, and Britain came to the aid of the Greek rebels against Turkey. They blockaded the Turkish-occupied coast, which led to the Battle of Navarino. War was never declared, however, so it is considered the first Pacific, peaceful blockade. The first truly Pacific blockade, involving no shooting at all, was the British blockade of the Republic of New Granada in 1837, established to compel New Granada to release an imprisoned British consul.